Hi everyone, this next video is the video of the testimony that I gave to the church the day we told the church of what I was getting to go through. I hope it's an encouragement to you, and I will see you next time.
I am very grateful as I stand before you of the great I am. God has truly been shaking our world. And I have battle scars that will be with me forever. I knew this day was coming, and we would be sharing the journey that God has chosen us to go through. Last night, as I was actually starting to put these words down on paper, I found the initial words hard to put down. The ending words are amazing, and God is so good, but the initial words were actually hard to put on paper. I really don't know how or what to say to express myself other than to say God is truly amazing with how he does things. If you truly do not know how amazing our God is, I hope this testimony shows you that you can find hope, you can find peace, comfort, joy, strength, and even freedom in the one who has come to save us. As this journey began 4.5, almost 5 months ago, with the initial finding, I will be honest, I questioned why. As things progressed very quickly, my flesh and those thoughts came in and said, what has God really done for you? Other than, just the basic, he's provided a house, he's provided jobs. What has he really done for you? During these past 3 months, God has truly shown me, just through the little memories on Facebook and through physical things, that he is the great I am. He answers when it's his timing, not mine. I am going to go back a little bit and just kind of give you a baseline of how awesome God is. 14 years ago, I was in a very abusive relationship. And today, if I was still in that relationship, I would say my life would be a life of pain. I prayed that if God did not want me to be with that person, he would send me the right one. A few weeks later, God sent me the right one. And on July 9th of this year, we have been married for 12 years. I could not go through this journey without this man. Chad is my physical rock that God has blessed me with. He is going through this with me because we are one. Through blessing me with Chad, he has also blessed me with 2 wonderful in-laws who love and care for me as I am theirs. And they go above and beyond to help when they're needed. Next, 8.5 years ago, there was a softball-sized tumor found on my ovary that should have been cancer, but it wasn't. After going through surgery to remove just the tumor, we found out, in the doctor's words, it's pretty much impossible for you to have children. 467 days of trying, I gave up. And just in that time, God showed up. July 12th, 2016, we found out we were pregnant with Hayden. November 17th, we found out baby miracle number 2 would soon arrive. I tell you, God is so good. Sometimes we feel he is wrong. But as the old song says, even when he's 4 days late, he's right on time. Now 2022 has gone and went. 2022, God completely healed me of acute bronchitis, which is bronchitis every 2 to 3 months. I haven't had bronchitis since January of 2022. God restored my mental health. Yes, I took anxiety medication for a couple years, but I boldly said, God, I'm done. Remove this anxiety from me. I'm tired of being anxious. And he did. I believe that he restored my mental health to prepare me for this time, because my mindset had to be completely changed. Now, before this all started, Chad and I had just kind of started doing a close little devotional together. and we had finished a book called The Crushing. I'm not going to go in detail in the book, but like Brother Chad said, this is not an attack of the enemy. I get to go through this to grow. I get to go through this so God can make me into that beautiful wine that I need to be. Now, 2022 has not ended the way I wanted it to, but I will say 2023 has started off wonderful. The past 3 months have tested my faith more than I would like to admit. But at the end of the day, it was still easy at the same time to say, okay, God, I know you have chosen me for this. And I've kept praising him through it. I have truly learned to wait upon the Lord and have patience. I have submitted and I have stopped fighting him. I may not know what the end looks like. I am not sure of the why, except he has a plan. If I know the why, if I know the who, I don't need to know the why. God knew that Chad and I were strong enough to withstand the storm. He has chosen Chad and I to go through this, and we cannot wait to see what the other side truly holds. In the meantime, I am going to push my flesh to get closer with God. Brother Chad talked about thoughts, us letting the thoughts enter and then they agree with our mind or our heart. We were listening to a podcast on one of our mini trips to St. Louis, and they talked about I can't remember the exact timing, but if you get that thought out, I'm going to say 15 seconds. I think it was less than that. If you get that thought out in less than 15 seconds, it doesn't have time to agree with your heart. You have to know when they're coming in and you have to dismiss them. Okay, nope, you don't belong here. Get out. I rebuke you. Now in November, Chad had told you that we have been going through some things, that I might not be as strong as I normally am. The strong he was referring to was physically, not spiritually or emotionally. I want to remind you, we get to go through this so we can grow. Our marriage has grown. I feel our family has grown, and we have grown individually in our spiritual walks. Now, before this all started, I knew I was going to be off work for quite some time. And when you lose an income, that's kind of scary. How are you going to pay your bills? Brother Chad got a raise a month before, and that raise normally takes a while to go in effect. It went in effect the week right after he was told he was going to get that raise, and that raise was more than enough to cover our bills while I was off work. God really does amazing things. Honestly, I really don't know how to start this next part. So I'm just going to lay it out. I put the basic details in here because I wasn't sure where God really wanted me to go. So just bear with me here. On October 5th, 2022, I was diagnosed with stage 0 breast cancer. Went to the doctor. They told me this was the good cancer. It was okay. This is the good kind to have. It caught it early enough, we'll be okay. It's also known as DCIS, ductal carcinoma in situ. On November 18th, I had a bilateral mastectomy to remove both of my breasts to remove the cancer. And during this time, on December 6th, 2022, they informed me that the cancer had moved to my lymph node in my left armpit. And not only was it stage 2, but it was also a very aggressive form of cancer known as HER2 positive. December 28th, we went in for another minimal procedure. September 29th, we met with the oncologist to discuss what the treatment was going to look like. Now you ready to hear what God can do? I should not have found the very 7 millimeter, so smaller than a pencil eraser, invasive cancer should not have been found. But because the very large stage 0 came up out of nowhere, they found it early enough. On January 5th of 2023, I had a CT to double check to make sure the cancer wasn't growing anywhere else. Friday, the nurse called and said, "I think this is the first time I have ever called somebody with good news. There's no cancer in your body." Now, mind you, from finding the mass in August to this point, everything has been God. The doctor that is doing my reconstruction is not covered by my insurance. So he's doing my reconstruction as a charity work, and I don't have to pay for anything. How awesome is that? God has truly, without going into big details, God has led us to the right doctors. He is the ultimate physician, but he truly has led us to the right doctors. To the local OBGYN here in Poplar Bluff that didn't just look at me and say, it's nothing, you're too young to have cancer, and send me on my way. He went ahead and sent me in for testing just to make sure. To the surgeon he referred me to, and then she has referred me to the rest of the team of doctors that I have, and I tell you, these guys are amazing. They've explained everything, and I can't even begin to fathom what God has done with that. Now, with all of that, I get to go through, not have to, I get to, harsh chemo for 18 weeks. There'll be 6 treatments every 3 weeks, plus radiation after that, and then a year of less harsh medication to target the HER2 receptor cells. I will also have another surgery after that treatment is done, along with medications to suppress my hormones.